Welcome to Coffee with Job on Monday morning. We're in Job chapter 6, and this is brilliant. Honestly, this is absolutely brilliant. I love this in so many ways. So we'll try and do it as quickly as we can and get it within the 5 minutes. Now, just as a general kind of background, this is Job's beginning to respond, and his responses are amazing. The depth and the integrity of his character that's shown in this. When I first became a Christian, there was a teenage girl, I was a teenager, who was deeply influential in my conversion. And I remember a friend of mine saying, yeah, she's a Christian, but she's got everything going for her. You wait until her house burns down or something bad happens to her. We'll see then. And I said, oh, don't be daft. Well, she did experience a number of setbacks in life, and then she did renounce her faith. And for me, it was a profoundly shocking thing that caused me to doubt and to question. But that's what happens, that our faith is proved real by the suffering we go through. And that's certainly with Job here. So let me just read this. Job 6, and it'd be good if you could read it as well. We're just going to do verses 1 to 10. Then Job replied, if only my anguish could be weighed and all my misery be placed on the scales, it would surely outweigh the sand of the seas. No wonder my words have been impetuous. Okay, actually, I'll read it as we go along because I do want to say something about that. Here, he has a real sense of meaninglessness. He's like the preacher in Ecclesiastes. He's been pious, he's cared for his family, he's feared God, he's been just, and now he's lost everything for no apparent reason. Health, friends, family, God. He's going through the standard grieving process. Dr. Elizabeth, the Kubler-Ross on death and dying, the Kubler-Ross scale, the various stages: denial and isolation, anger, bargaining, depression and acceptance, numbness and shock, questioning, depressions, anger and resolution. I think chapters 6 and 7 are the anger and depression. It's a real and powerful emotional outburst. So what he says at the beginning here is, this is heavy. The sand is heavy. He feels the world is against him. And then verse 4, the arrows of the Almighty are in me. My spirit drinks in their poisons. God's terrors are marshaled against me. The image here is strong, it's military, and it's intended to portray God as his enemy, as arrows have come in, like you see in these kind of Lord of the Rings type movies. The image of God here is a chariot riding archer. Why are you shooting at me? Why are you dropping these poison arrows on me? And then he goes on, does a wild donkey bray when it has grass, or an ox bellow when it has fodder? Is tasteless food eaten without salt, or is there flavour in the sap of the mallow? I refuse to touch it. Such food makes me ill. And what he's talking about here is his friend's advice. He's saying, no human being eats what is unsalted or tasteless. The Hebrew here is a bit uncertain. It's like the white of an egg, or if you're from the southern US, grits. You know, it's tasteless. You need honey or bacon or something with it. You need salt. And he's just saying, no, your words are tasteless. Your words don't help. Such food makes me ill. Oh, that I might have my request, that God would grant what I hope for, that God would be willing to crush me, to let loose his hand and cut off my life. Then I would still have this consolation, my joy in unrelenting pain, that I had not denied the words of the Holy One. He's lost all hope. He wants to die. He pleads with God to let him die. I don't know if you've ever done that. It's a very profound experience. He's cracking up. He's saying, I'd rather die now and know that I hadn't blasphemed God, know that I hadn't done what my wife had said. You've got a contrast here, haven't you? You've got the tasteless words of his friends and then the words of the Holy One. And he says, I'm not going to deny them. I'm not going to deny the words of the Holy One. What a fantastic testimony. I'll leave you with this. There was someone else who had tasteless words, who wanted help. Psalm 69 verse 20, spoken of Christ. Scorn has broken my heart and has left me helpless. I looked for sympathy, but there was none. For comforters, but I found none. They put gall in my food and gave me vinegar for my thirst. Christ got no comfort. Christ was mocked. Christ was spat on. And he did that for us so that we could have his word made certain and his words give us encouragement. Well, I hope this word today has been a blessing to you. See you tomorrow.